Hey guys, how are you? My name is Lisa and I am the Self Mastery Princess. And on this channel, we discuss the art of self mastery because when you master yourself, you master the world. Today, I'm going to be talking about a very important topic: know your limits. Know your limits and know how to turn them into your assets. Here's what I'm trying to say. I learned something on this journey of personal development. I learned that there are going to be blind spots. We all have blind spots as human beings. And you need to be very honest with yourself and let those come up so that you know how to plan for them. So, for example, I took a personality test, the Briggs personality test. And my personality type is a ENFP. And a lot of the times when I do these fun introspection type of activities, it's so that I can just kind of better gauge myself, my strengths, my weaknesses. And on this personality test, it showed me that one of my strengths is that I'm very creative and I need to, do work that's going to be interacting with people and where I can kind of, let all my creative juices flow. And one of the downfalls to that personality type, like work that we don't like, is like plain like data entry, like, no engagement, just like tech or something. This was very beneficial to me because I used this to my advantage. I was hearing a lot in my inner circle that, tech was the thing to go and, that's what everybody was doing. And I thought about it, I'm like, okay, tech is cool. But knowing my personality type and knowing the type of person I am, I love engagement, I love people interaction, I love to do those type of things. Following the tech trend wouldn't have been good to me because it would have played to my limitation versus something like a public policy or, an analyst where I still can do research, but I have that people component because that's my strength. And that's what I'm saying. Know your limits and work with them. I think a lot of the time, we look at our limitations as a weakness, as something that's stopping us, when in fact, you need to learn your limitations and you use them to work for your advantage. This is very important on your journey to self-mastery, is to be able to know what you're good at, what you're not so good at, and being able to delegate those things that you're not good at. And this makes sense because I'm quick to delegate. I'm quick to call a handyman. I'm quick to find somebody that can do the job. Why? Because that's just not my cup of tea to be the one to put together a table or, whatever. I'll find a person who can do that. And also know that who you surround yourself with can add or remove certain limitations. This was a very important key I learned on my journey to self-mastery. There are going to be some people who you come around and your spirit literally feels rejuvenated. You feel like, wow, I can do anything. And then there are going to be people who you come around who make you feel like you're an absolute crazy person. What are you talking about? This doesn't happen. We don't do things like that. Avoid those people. Because the thing about it is, limits, limitations, all of those things are all in your mind. So if you can be able to surround yourself around people who are ahead of you and who are like-minded, it can even change your perceived limitations. But if you're speaking to people who are not understanding your vision, understanding what you want to do, it's going to be very tough for you to go to where you want to go to in your goals. And you got to understand this. You're not above being impressed upon, or you're not above being impressed, like advertised to, or persuaded or manipulated, or any of these things. I think sometimes a preconceived notion is that, just because you're doing personal development and you're growing, is that your spirit can't get like infiltrated, and that's just not the case. You are as good as your environment. So if you're hanging around people who are constantly limiting you, you can better believe that you yourself will rub off on you. Just like if you're around people who are super successful, that will rub off on you as well, and you will see yourself climbing up in the gates of success. So at first I used to feel like, oh my goodness, these limitations, these are bad. I think on my personality type, it was like, I'm also very adaptable, and I'm like, wow. So that showed me. So with that being said, I started diving into self-development, personal development, reading, all of those things, and I literally put it on my spirit versus spending time doing things that wasn't going to give me that benefit. So that's how you do that. And when you know your limits, you are a very wise person, because I can't do this. This is too far for me. And you're able to exercise your boundaries with other people, with friends, with families, with jobs. You're able to know, okay, this is who I am. I can't go any further. There are some people, they get off at 5 o'clock at work, they're out at 5 o'clock. That's it. They know they're out. There are other people, they get off at 5 o'clock, they're at the job until 8 o'clock. And, they don't know their limit, and then they end up being burnt out, and they end up being, overworked, and they feel like, oh my goodness, what's going on? But that's because you didn't know your limits. You got to know your limits. And the thing about your limits is, speak up assertively, not aggressively or passive aggressively. If you want something or you like something, just say it. Just say, hey, no, that doesn't work for me, or yeah, that works for me. You don't have to feel bad about it or have your voice trembling. Just say, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me. And I'm going to give you the honest truth. People are going to call you selfish. They're going to say this and that. But the thing is, you got to know you, and you got to know, hey, that's my limit. This is my limit. This is as far as I can go. And have that for all areas of your life. Have a limit. There's a limit amount of money that I lend out. Money that I don't need, because I'm not going to leave something like that up to chance. So if I do something, and honestly, it's really anything that I do. If I do something, if it truly don't light me up, I'm not going to do it for some kind of, accolade or anything. Because the thing about it is, you get yourself into trouble when you move like that. So what I decided is that if I do something, it's because it genuinely lights me up. And if it doesn't, it just doesn't. And that's just my limit. I have a limit as to what I'm going to put into certain projects, but I'm not going to put into certain projects, what kind of people I want around me, what kind of people I don't want around me. I have those limits. I know your limits. Know your limits. There's a reason why they have limits in the pool. They have those little net things when you're, on the beach, because past that limit, anything can happen. And I don't think we think about this, and then we wonder why, we're feeling so down, or why certain things are happening. But you need to know your energetic limit and your limit with other people and your own personal limitations, and you need to keep that in mind as you navigate through your everyday life, because that's going to really help you to stay out of trouble. It's going to help you to not waste time. It's going to help you to attract the right people, the right places, the right things into your experience. But if you are one of those people, you don't have any limits, anything goes, well, you can't really be upset. You can't really be upset when things, are playing out the way they're playing out, because you haven't made clear what your limitations are. And you also need to understand too, it's okay for you to have limitations in certain areas, or to not be the best in every area, because you have things that you're the best in. You have things that you're excellent in. So don't look at your limitations or, your downfalls as this thing that you have to beat yourself up about. No, welcome to Earth. You're human. Everybody has limits. Everybody has limitations. And it's just about you being strategic and knowing to market yourself, and not to dwell on those perceived limitations. And honestly, the more you expose yourself to great content like this, to meeting different people, the better it will be for you to break through those perceived limitations. And that's something that has really helped me a whole lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.